Welcome to the Assembly Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Assemblyman DeLong.
Present.
Assemblywoman Dickman.
Here.
Assemblyman De Silva.
Here.
Assemblywoman Gonzalez.
Here.
Assemblyman Hibbets. Assemblyman MacArthur.
Here.
Assemblywoman Brittany Miller.
Here.
Assemblyman Cameron C.H. Miller. Assemblywoman Monroe Marino. Assemblywoman Newby.
Here.
Assemblyman Yeager. Chair Gorlow.
And I'm here. Thank you very much. Please mark anyone that is absent now present when they do arrive. Welcome, everyone, to Carson City. Don't forget, housekeeping rules. Turn your electronics off. Be nice to each other. And that's really it. So let's just go ahead and get started. We've got SJR 3, which urges the United States Bureau of Reclamation to consider certain actions, alternatives, and measures for the protection and management of the Colorado River. We have the Southern Nevada Water Authority with us today. So when you are ready, please begin, and don't forget to state and spell your name for the record.
Chair Gorlow, members of the committee, my name is Andy Belanger, A-N-D-Y-B-E-L-A-N-G-E-R, with the Southern Nevada Water Authority, here today to present SJR 3. This joint resolution came out of the Interim Committee on Natural Resources, and I was asked to present it, given its topic. So the resolution outlines the situation on the Colorado River and a lot of the actions that have taken place over the last year as we deal with a crippling drought, a crippling nearly 25-year drought on the Colorado River, and very low reservoir levels at the lake. We've done a number of things to prepare our community for that, including the construction of a third intake and a low lake pumping station that allows us to pull water out of the lake, even at very, very low lake levels, and unprecedented water conservation efforts in Southern Nevada that have helped secure our water supply and helped our community prepare for a future that is going to be drier and warmer than any of us would like. What this resolution does is it urges the Bureau of Reclamation to do a number of things, including it urges them to support the pursuit of a collaboration-based framework to address the structural deficit on the Colorado River, to include mechanisms to account for evaporation and system losses in the river, and it urges them to amend existing federal regulations to prohibit the inefficient delivery, application, or use of any water from the Colorado River by all sectors and users. We're in a situation on the river where every state and every sector needs to do their part. And this resolution is designed to ensure that Nevada's position, which has been a unified position of the Water Authority and the Colorado River Commission, be heard loud and clear throughout the West and in the halls of the federal government, that we all need to conserve more, that we all need to do our part. And there is an amendment to the resolution. You see that in the draft that we provided. It strikes the language related to consensus-based modeling. That's on page 3, lines 30 to 35. And the reason for that is the supplemental environmental impact statement that's referenced there was released a couple of weeks ago, so that issue is now moot. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, and I appreciate the committee's consideration of this resolution.
Thank you very much. Committee members, do we have any questions? Okay. Speaker Yeager.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for being here to present this. I guess a couple of questions. One, I know that you said you would are proposing to strike out the language that talks about the other states, but I just wondered if you knew if any other of the Colorado Compact, River Compact states have urged Congress to do this as well, or are we going to be the first one to break some ground with a resolution like this?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, Andy Belanger for the record. I'm not aware of any other state having submitted a resolution on this. I do know that the other 6 states that signed, or other 5 states that signed on to that consensus-based modeling alternative is really looking for the federal government to really consider some approaches that look at evaporation, look at other system losses, and tries to acknowledge the reality of the situation.
And if I could, Madam Chair, just one more, not necessarily dealing with the specifics of the resolution, but obviously those of us up here in northern Nevada for the last few months have experienced quite a bit of snow, and I know other places have too, and I just wondered from your vantage point, obviously it's going to help Lake Tahoe up in this area, but I just wondered on the rest of the Colorado River. I remember seeing some photos recently of the Grand Canyon, and still a lot of snow in the Grand Canyon, and some parts of the basin in the Grand Canyon that are actually unpassable because of the water flow right now. And just wanted to get your take on whether that's going to help, and if so, is that a little bit of help? Is it a lot of help? What does it mean for us here in Nevada, and particularly in southern Nevada?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Andy Belanger for the record. We appreciate this year's snowpack and runoff. We hope for a cool, dry spring that isn't windy, because that will help most of that water get into the basin. We expect to see the lake level rise in Lake Mead this year, and that's a positive sign. We're grateful for the weather we've had and its impact. It's a good 1-year reprieve, and we hope to have many more of those that would help us. But obviously, we have to prepare for the worst case, and we'll take all of the good years that we can get.
Thank you very much. We'll go to Assemblyman Hibbets.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the presentation. Out of curiosity, if you know, how many years of above-average snowpack in the Western Rockies would it take to bring Lake Mead specifically back up to a normal or average level?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Andy Belanger for the record. I don't know that I know that off the top of my head. I will say that over the last 23 years, only 6 have been above average. And of those 6 years, about half of them were right at the average. So, it's taken us a lot of years to get into this situation, and it will take us a decade or 2 to get out of it.
Thank you very much. That was actually my question. I was curious about that as well. Committee members, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. We will open up testimony in support. Please come to the table, state and spell your name, and you may begin when ready.
Good afternoon, Chair Gorlow and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Dylan Keith, Dylankeith, with the Vegas Chamber. As we know, the availability and sustainability of water resources are essential to the 7 states along the Colorado River and Mexico. The ongoing drought within the Colorado River Basin and the impact on Lake Mead are of the greatest concern to the region's economic stability and the 2 million residents in southern Nevada. The Chamber has been a longtime advocate for the federal government to work with Nevada's congressional delegation, the other states, and Mexico to effectively address the concerns along the Colorado River. It has been one of our top federal priorities for many years. We appreciate the ongoing work that has been done by our congressional delegation and many of our state legislators to help move this conversation forward with the federal government and our neighboring states. We thank you for your time and consideration in supporting SJR 3.
Thank you very much. You may begin when ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Isaac Hardy, representing the Nevada Conservation League. With the Colorado River at a historic and dangerously low levels, we need robust and comprehensive water conservation solutions. The consensus-based modeling alternative would help stabilize the water levels of Lake Mead and Lake Powell and encourage all states that depend on the Colorado River to work together to reduce water use. We urge the committee support. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in Carson City who would like to come to the table to testify in support? Okay, seeing none, go to Vegas. Don't see anyone there. Broadcasting, is there anyone on telephone who would like to call in testimony for support?
To testify in support of SJR 3, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon, Chair Gorlow and committee members. For the record, my name is Matilda Guerrero, and on behalf of Battleborn Progress, we're in support of this measure. I agree with the sentiments of my colleagues. It's time for other states to go with the flow and do their part to conserve the Colorado River, and it's also time for this body to channel our efforts towards comprehensive water conservation solutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Broadcasting, next caller, please.
Chair, there are no other callers to testify in support at this time.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close testimony in support, and we'll open up testimony in opposition. Is there anybody in Carson City who would like to come to the table in opposition of SJR 3? Seeing none, we'll go to Las Vegas. Seeing nobody there. Broadcasting, is there anyone on telephone?
Chair, there are no callers to testify in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll open up the testimony in neutral. Is there anyone in Carson City who'd like to come to the table to testify in neutral? Okay, seeing none and nobody in Las Vegas. Broadcasting, is there anyone on telephone who'd like to testify in neutral?
Chair, there are no callers to testify in neutral at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll close testimony in neutral. Would you like to come back up to the table for final remarks? Okay, great. Then we will close the hearing on SJR 3 and move on to the next item on our agenda, which is public testimony. So is there anybody in Carson City who would like to come to the table for public comment, not testimony, comment? Seeing none, and there's nobody in Las Vegas. Broadcasting, is there anybody who would like to call in for public comment? Is there anyone on the phone?
Chair, the public line is open and working, but there are no callers at this time.
All right, well then we will close public comment. That was quick. Again. Thank you. Probably not. But I do want to take another moment to thank our staff who just diligently works really, really hard for us. I don't thank them enough, so thank you very, very much. And is there any comments from the committee before we close the meeting? Okay, seeing none. With that, we are adjourned.